Charles Barkley is the best NBA player never to win a championship. His stellar career was filled with on-court drama, routine controversy, and spending time behind bars. But it wasn't destined to be that way. His way to the top was blocked at every turn, and off-court antics almost landed him in prison. So how did Sir Charles rise to the top of basketball's most prestigious league? And why is he still a controversial figure? Stay tuned as we dive into the life of one of the most interesting personalities in sports, Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was born into adversity. In the small town of Leeds, Alabama in the early 1960s, when Charles entered elementary school, he was still the only black baby on campus. Charles's mother worked as a cleaner to support her 3 children while living in public housing. She raised them almost single-handedly with the help of her mother after Charles's father abandoned them. His stepfather died suddenly while Charles was still a child, as did his second stepbrother. Despite all this hardship and tragedy, though, Charles felt lucky for his upbringing, which was surrounded by a strong community, giving him a solid grounding for chasing his dream, professional basketball. In high school, though, he didn't stand out as a prospect, either academically or athletically. Unlike most future NBA players, he wasn't included in the varsity team. Part of this was because of his build, which was already 220 pounds and 5'10" in height. He was mocked by his opponents and teammates about his weight. Deemed by many coaches and fellow players as too stocky to make it professionally, Charles wasn't deterred. He was developing a thick skin that would later come to define his career. Even when he did earn a spot on the school team, where he helped guide them to the state semifinals, he wasn't able to attract much interest from college scouts. That was until Charles was spotted by a coach from Auburn University, who recognized the immense potential and offered him a place. While studying business management at Auburn University, Charles began to hit his stride in basketball. But it was complicated by an unwanted offer. On top of his rebound specialty, he could block shots and finish with dunks. His build slowly earned him the round mound of rebound because he excelled in using his body weight and strength to win loose balls. Accolades piled up during his college career, and by 1984, before he even finished his degree at Auburn, Charles participated in the NBA draft. It was a year that would launch the professional careers of many NBA legends. Charles was touted to be chosen by the Philadelphia 76ers, a team he wasn't enthusiastic about. In fact, Charles had done everything in his power to avoid being picked. After finding out that his contract would only be a 1-year deal worth $75,000, he went on a 48-hour eating spree. He packed on around 20 pounds in the hopes of dissuading the Sixers from choosing him. Charles Barkley was chosen by the Sixers as the 5th pick, just 2 places after Michael Jordan. And the first thing he did with his first bit of money was buy his parents a house. Barkley joined a star-studded team that included Julius Erving, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, and Moses Malone. 3 of them would go on to become Hall of Famers, earning the team a place as one of the greatest lineups of all time. A year earlier, this lineup had demolished their way to an NBA championship, barely losing a game in the finals. But in Barkley's rookie year, in 1985, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to Boston. He played primarily as a power forward or small forward, but just like he had shown in college, his dribbling, defensive, and possession skills were unusual for the position. In the 1986-87 season, Barkley became the shortest player in history to lead the league in rebounding, earning him a regular spot in rankings of greatest rebounders of all time. Despite his game performance improving, scoring more than 20 points a game, Philadelphia failed to see promising results. Barkley was instrumental in getting his team to the playoffs in 1987, but they were still knocked out by the Milwaukee Bucks. By 1988, after the trade of Moses Malone and the retirement of Julius Erving, Barkley cemented himself as the star and leader at Philadelphia. He had become a tough leader who wasn't afraid to confront other players or officials, and it had made him an easy target for the media. Newspapers were routinely covered with headlines about Barkley's behavior. Throughout his career, he was disqualified from 44 games, ejected 6 times, and had over 300 technical fouls. In one legendary brawl between the Pistons and the 76ers in 1990, players were collectively handed $162,500 worth of fines. Afterward, Barkley said, "I don't care if I get fined. I make $3 million. What's a couple of $1,000s?" It was this kind of behavior that didn't endear him to crowds. During a game against the New Jersey Nets, Barkley was being hassled by a heckler who had apparently been yelling racially charged slurs at him. Eventually, Barkley reached breaking point and spat in the man's direction, which accidentally landed on an 8-year-old girl instead. The story instantly made international news, and the NBA reacted strongly. The league banned Barkley for one game, and he was issued a $10,000 fine. But he was somehow able to transform the situation into something positive by striking up a friendship with the little girl's family and giving them tickets to future games. Away from the court, Barkley was giving the media plenty to talk about too. In a famous Nike commercial, he urged fans not to follow him, saying that he was not a role model for kids to look up to. He thought it was unrealistic for kids to believe they could grow up to be like Michael Jordan. Besides, Barkley had problems of his own. In 1997, he was involved in a violent altercation at a bar in Orlando. Barkley was charged with aggravated battery after throwing a man through a glass window. The man had allegedly thrown ice into Barkley's face and provoked him. Later, Barkley said the aggressor got what he deserved, and that he wouldn't hesitate to do the same thing to others bothering him. What the media couldn't deny was Barkley's talent. He was part of both the 1992 and 1996 United States Dream Team that dominated to win both Olympic gold medals. And when he left Philadelphia for the Phoenix Suns in 1992, his career was reignited. In 1993, in a season that was looking like his last opportunity to win a championship, Barkley won the MVP in the regular season. It wasn't enough to beat Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls, though, who clinched their third consecutive championship in a nail-biting Game 6 of the series when John Paxson sunk a three-pointer in the last few seconds. It was a brutal loss for Barkley, whose future had already been uncertain going into the finals. He had suffered a torn quadricep tendon towards the end of the season. A few years later, Barkley was traded to the Houston Rockets. And in late 1999, Barkley pulled his quadriceps tendon again. 4 months after the injury, he returned to the court one last time, where he received a standing ovation from the crowd. By then, Barkley had shed his nickname of the Round Mound of Rebound, replaced simply by Sir Charles. Standing just 6'4", he remains the shortest player to ever lead the league in rebounds, but his short stature cloaked his huge impact on the game. An 11-time All-Star, the 1993 MVP, the 1987 rebound champion, and only the fourth player in NBA history to cross the stats of 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 4,000 assists. Barkley had left his mark. Despite these huge achievements, he still wasn't done with the sport after retirement. To younger NBA fans, Barkley is more familiar as a sports analyst, where he has been a staple of pregame and halftime shows on the television network TNT, where he covers just about every subject connected to sports, voicing his strong opinions. This work has even earned 4 sports Emmys for his work. He's been offered lucrative deals from major competitors. Instead, in 2022, he signed a 10-year deal with TNT worth over $100 million. Barkley has even made his way into the world of acting, not only appearing in the basketball film Space Jam, but also in the television series Suits and Modern Family. Just like his playing career, though, Barkley has continued to be a divisive figure. He's made public plans to run for the governor of Alabama, extending his active role in his hometown of Leeds. Barkley wants to continue the area's rich legacy in civil rights to reduce inequality for all sections of society. In the past, he's been an outspoken advocate for same-sex marriage and LGBT rights, which has earned him plenty of political opposition. Barkley was recently ranked in the top 50 NBA players from the past 50 years. His unique style, resilient character, and no-nonsense approach have made him a favorite player and media personality. Despite an NBA ring escaping him, there's no doubt that Barkley earned his place as one of the greats, both on and off the court.